The tension surrounding Jake Paul's next move has ignited the boxing world like a spark in a room full of gasoline. Anthony Joshua, the towering former unified heavyweight champion, has now stepped firmly into Paul's crosshairs, and the result is a storm that feels equal parts spectacle, danger, and disbelief. Even before the contracts were finalized, the uproar began. Veteran fighters, seasoned promoters, and analysts with decades in the sport have all come forward with a single unifying message. This fight may not just derail Jake Paul's career, it could put his health in serious jeopardy. Anthony Joshua hears the noise, but he doesn't flinch. The British powerhouse carries himself with the calm of a man who has walked through fire before and is prepared to do it again. To him, this fight is business, a chance to tune up before the serious road to 2026 begins. But beneath the calm lies something darker, something more chilling. Joshua has made it clear that he intends to break Jake Paul down. Not entertain him. Not give him a moment of false hope. But to make an example out of him in front of the world. His promoter Eddie Hearn has echoed these warnings, reminding Paul that stepping into the ring with a heavyweight who has knocked out giants is not the same as boxing retired MMA fighters or shop-worn legends. Hearn has even gone as far as cautioning the YouTuber-turned-boxer to understand the difference between ambition and danger. This looming mismatch has drawn concern from every corner of the sport. Moses Itama, one of the most promising rising heavyweights, expressed his disbelief at the idea of sanctioning such a fight. He argued that Jake Paul is barely at British area level and should not be sharing a ring with someone like Joshua. His warning was simple and grim: someone could get seriously hurt. And when boxers talk about danger, they do it with an understanding the public rarely grasps. They have felt the weight of heavyweight punches. They know exactly what a misjudged moment can do to a human skull. To them, the excitement of the spectacle falls away, replaced by the harsh reality of what could happen when raw power meets inexperience. The critics only grew louder when Ariel Helwani underscored the very real safety concerns. He referenced Joshua's brutal knockout of Francis Ngannou, a man built like a tank and feared across the world. To imagine Jake Paul standing in front of that same power for even a few moments is, in the eyes of many, a reckless gamble. Amir Khan, himself a former world champion with deep respect for the sport, painted an even more alarming picture. He believes Joshua could end the fight early, very early, and that the size and power gap is so enormous that it borders on irresponsible to even allow this fight to happen. Yet Jake Paul continues to laugh off the warnings. He keeps insisting that this moment proves everything he has ever said about himself. He claims Joshua is slow, predictable, declining, and vulnerable. He points to Joshua's recent knockout loss to Daniel Dubois as proof that the former champion is slipping. And in Paul's mind, slipping means opportunity. His self-belief, which has carried him through YouTube stardom, viral fame, and a controversial boxing career, has now led him straight into the mouth of a heavyweight lion. While Paul stands on confidence, Joshua stands on legacy. At 35, with the sting of his recent defeat still fresh, he knows another loss could bury him under the weight of criticism. Johnny Nelson believes Joshua is in a no-win situation. If he wins easily, critics will say it was expected. If he struggles, they will say he is finished. If Paul somehow lasts more than a couple of rounds, the whispers about Joshua's decline will become deafening. And if the unthinkable happens, if Jake Paul lands that one clean punch that boxing loves reminding us is always possible, then Joshua's reputation may never recover. Carl Frock, always brutally honest, argues Joshua is cashing out. In his eyes, choosing Jake Paul suggests a man no longer chasing world titles but angling for payoff. He frames it as the final chapter of a storied career, one where the ending is more about financial legacy than competitive glory. According to him, Joshua knows his days as an elite heavyweight are behind him. He believes Joshua is collecting every last drop of opportunity before stepping away for good. But while the boxing world debates motives and risks, Jake Paul is celebrating the business side of the fight. He claims the event could generate over $200 million, a staggering figure that would rival some of boxing's largest events. And while promoters estimate both fighters could walk away with $90+ million apiece, Paul insists the numbers are even bigger. To him, this fight isn't just about legacy, it's about rewriting what a crossover boxer can achieve. It's about proving he can step into the deepest waters of the sport and swim instead of drown. Still, no one with boxing experience believes this will be competitive. Analysts break it down in almost clinical fashion. Joshua wins the jab, the defense, the chin, the footwork, and the ring IQ. Paul only holds an edge in personality and hype. Fighters who have spent lifetimes studying the craft watch Paul's tape and see glaring flaws. They see a man with predictable timing, stiff movements, and a defense that leaves him wide open to the sort of punches Joshua throws effortlessly. They see a mismatch that no amount of bravado can cover up. Teddy Atlas, one of boxing's most respected minds, approaches the fight with a curious blend of caution and fascination. He admits Paul has earned his place as a promoter. He respects that Paul has never disrespected the sport through laziness or shortcuts. Paul trains hard, surrounds himself with real professionals, and has taken the sport more seriously than many expected. But Atlas is blunt in his assessment. Paul is not top tier and likely never will be. And stepping into the ring with Joshua may expose that truth in the most brutal way imaginable. Yet Atlas also highlights something others ignore. Joshua is coming off a devastating knockout and a long layoff. He is older, heavier, and carrying ghosts from his past defeats. Atlas warns that such circumstances can create vulnerabilities, and sometimes the fights that look easiest become the most dangerous for the favorite. Still, even with these warnings, Atlas leans toward Joshua with the certainty of someone who has seen enough mismatches to know how they end. For Jake Paul, this is either the greatest masterstroke of his career, or the moment his boxing dream shatters forever. His entire brand is built on beating the odds. But this time the odds are not just stacked against him, they are towering over him like Joshua at a face-off. Whether driven by ego, belief, or hunger for legacy, Jake Paul is stepping into a fight few believe he can survive. And for all the criticisms, the warnings, and the disbelief, one thing is certain: the world will be watching. What do you think? Is Jake Paul stepping into the greatest opportunity of his life or walking straight into disaster? Will he shock the world, or will Anthony Joshua deliver a lesson he never forgets? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more deep dive breakdowns into the most electrifying stories in boxing today.